Dr. Oz.
Dr. Oz.
Dr. Oz is here.
Dr. Oz is Vice Chair and Professor of Surgery at Columbia University, Director of the Cardiovascular and Complementary Medicine at New York Presbyterian Hospital. His Emmy Award-winning syndicated daytime show, The Dr. Oz Show, is in its 5th year. The one and only Dr. Oz.
Yes, here he is, Dr. Oz. Welcome to the Grill Team.
My friends, how are you?
Yeah, it's great to have you in the house. And you've been on Oprah's show 55 times, but this is your debut for the Grill Team. So good luck.
Are you nervous?
Thank you,
Big
Josh.
one.
I'm thinking about it.
Are you
Don't
nervous?
stuff it up.
All right, come on. Let me in there, Coach. Come on, Coach. Put me in there.
Get yourself loose. Now, health is a big option and a big priority at the moment in Australia. Not so much in the older people, but our youngsters. So many big youngsters at the moment. And I know it's a drama in the States as well. And you're here to talk about just trying to make people a little bit more healthy.
Well, it's International Men's Health Week, so it's a good reason to come anyway. Plus, it was my birthday.
Oh, well done.
So where else would Oz go but to be with Oz?
Yeah.
Right?
Fantastic.
But, we did this big story with New Idea magazine. We're looking at what folks in Australia thought about their health, young and old. And so some of the things I expected, concerns about getting the flu in the winter, things like that. But I was really caught off guard by some of the observations. A lot of concerns about weight, appropriately, because 2/3 of the population is heavier or obese. And a lot of concerns about mental resilience, how strong we are mentally. And I got to say, one thing I've learned on the show, and you mentioned my mentor, Oprah, and she was very strong about this. The reason you need to care about your body, and as the athletes that are in the room, is Gus included in that or not anymore?
He's getting there.
I'm getting there. Okay.
Inverted commas.
But the reason you care about your body is because if you can control your body, you can change the world outside of it. And that's the big insight.
That's a
so
good
when
point.
young kids, for example, are putting weight on, to me, that's the real sign that you're ignoring the reality of what's going on inside of you. So that means you're out of control. And you'll never be the person you could be.
Dr. Oz, when Australians used to go over to America years ago, and when I say years, I mean as little as 10 years ago, what amazed us was when you walk up and you ask for a regular cola in America, the size that you were handed, the size of the cup that you were handed. But unfortunately, we have followed down that path, where you guys are probably starting to scale it back a little bit. Where Mark's from, you go out west, and there's fast food after fast food store after fast food store, and it's an epidemic in Australia.
Well, we have made it easy to do the wrong thing in Australia and in the U.S. In fact, we have the standard Australian diet, right? That acronym is SAD, because that's what it is. And you have so many opportunities, a wonderful environment to be outdoors in, actually remarkable access to food that's affordable. And yet we've corrupted our beliefs by thinking that it's about calories. Life's not about calories. It's about nutrients. It's about value. So if you're looking for the good stuff, your body will say fantastic. But if you're looking for junky stuff, you mentioned diet soda as an example, there's no nutrient value there. So your brain says, yeah, I got the 200 calories from the drink, but I didn't get nutrients. You go back and eat more.
How much as we as parents, we've got 10 kids amongst us here on the Grill Team.
I've got 4 more. That's 14 in the room.
Yep. So
we got a team.
How much are we to blame? How much are we? We're talking about young kids and their habits. How much are we to blame for their habits?
Well, we can take a lot of the blame, but it's bigger than just blaming one part or the other. We were also raised in an environment where we made it easy to do the wrong thing. We have to create an environment, and kids are important in this equation because they will get about 12 exposures to a taste before they finally think it tastes good.
Really?
You need familiarity. So a young kid, 2 or 3-year-old, has to start to get exposed to broccoli, for example, because broccoli is hugely important in detoxifying your liver, which is valuable for reducing cancer and the like. So if you want kids to like broccoli, you can't just give it to them once when they're 7 and say goodbye. We have infantilized our kids' taste buds. So you go to a fast food joint, you have a soda, a burger,
chips,
some fries, chips, and now those are all, again, white, empty calories. Your taste buds don't get challenged at all. So when you're 35, guess what you want?
Chips.
Soft drink. Same thing.
Dr. Oz, what's it like when you graduate, like yourself, you graduate, you're learning medicine, and all of a sudden someone comes up to you, the responsibility says, hey, doctor, quite honestly, when you sit down and a person, and I pour my heart out and I say, I've got this pain and all the rest of it, how important that no matter what Dr. Oz tells me, that I go and seek a second opinion?
Well, 10% of the population gets a second opinion. 10%. That's almost nothing. Now, here's why it's important. 1/3 of the time, when you go to get a second opinion, it'll change the diagnosis or the therapy. Now, listen.
So who's right then in that situation? Should
Exactly.
you go for a third opinion after that? Or
Well, oftentimes what you have to do is get the 2 people to talk to each other. But here's why you need to do it. It's not just about you. When your first doctor and second doctor talk, they both learn because they have a difference of opinion. And when the first doctor, let's say he was wrong, learns what the second doctor teaches him, he will share with every other patient he sees for the rest of his career. So you're actually changing the entire system and making it better. We call this a smart patient movement. But you mentioned about doctors and how proud we are. You know, it's my calling. I still practice medicine. I go to the hospital on Thursday mornings diligently and do I'm a heart surgeon, so I take a bandsaw to people's chests, lamenting the fact that if I just told them a couple of things ahead of time, maybe they wouldn't have needed it. But when you become a doctor and they call you doctor, you're shocked.
Yeah.
Because you think you should know everything. And the reality is we don't know everything. And most of us go into medicine because we will never know it all. That's the beauty of life.
Do you have sorry, MG, do you ever have moments of like serious doubt? Yeah, almost those panic attacks where you go, well, I'm in this situation of authority that people, whatever I tell them, they take as absolutely gospel, yet I know how much I don't know?
I wouldn't say it's panic. There's a ponderous load on your shoulder, a responsibility, because when people trust you, and that's our currency, you got to act on it. But listen, I'm in the change business. So are you. We live our lives by being able to change people who trust us. And so that's a wonderful honor. But if you abuse it, it's gone, and it should be gone immediately.
What are the 3 rules of combat we need to have better lives with our diet? What's the 3 things you'd say straight away to the men listening?
Everyone,
we have
yeah.
we have a very big male-dominated audience.
I'm going to commend Gus because you're probably doing a lot of these things. You've lost a lot of weight.
Yep.
And kudos to you on that. Here are the things that I tell everybody, and I'd be curious, Gus, if you're doing these yourself. Number 1, I cut out all the white foods. White
foods.
rice, white pasta, white sugar, white flour. All the white foods have to go. And ideally, when you do eat the good foods, like the protein-rich foods, you want to have it first thing in the morning. Number 2, you need to get physical activity, but it doesn't have to be marathon level work. You need to break a sweat for about an hour, literally an hour a week. That means,
a week.
An hour a week. That's the minimum. And here's why I say that, because it takes you about 10 minutes after you start exercising to start sweating. So I don't count that.
No.
But from the moment you start sweating, you need an hour of sweating. So usually it's 3 workouts a week, but that's not a large barrier to overcome. Men can do that. You can practically I do a yoga series in the morning when I first get up with some push-ups and sit-ups. The yoga is the same exercises we all did warming up for practice and playing.
Yeah.
And then the third thing, and this is the most important thing for men, you have to give your heart a reason to keep beating, or it won't. It's about having passion for life and the people who you care about. And when you realize you're worth it, then you'd never do that to your body. Because when you rip life into existence, which all of us did 14 times to bring kids into the world, you see how sacred and special they are. You would never want those bodies abused. The same way your parents would never want you to abuse your body. So if someone is putting something in their mouth that they shouldn't, ask themselves what they would tell themselves if there was someone else doing it.
Yeah.
Dr.
Great
Rose,
advice.
you're on Oprah 55 times. You've been on the grill team once. You're welcome back anytime. You make a lot of sense, and it's been great having you in. And, of course, your show, the Dr. Oz Show, weekdays on Channel 7. Make sure you watch it, and you're an absolute champion. Thanks for your time.
Cheers. Thank you
Good
very
man.
much.
No worries.
Dr. Oz on the Grill Team, Triple M.
The Grill Team, Gus, MG, and Matty Johns. Triple M Breakfast.